Hey guys, welcome to Simple Real Estate. I'm Joe Seminary. Today we're going to talk a little bit about North Carolina investments because I've been getting a lot of emails based on investing in North Carolina, the Charlotte, the Raleigh area. And I can tell you from experience that as of where we're at right now, I think that the market is heavily oversaturated there. And if an investor wanted to go anywhere, they would probably have to go in the low income areas, the C-class neighborhoods, to try to make a decent investment, because everything else is kind of inflated over there. I wouldn't necessarily even try to buy a condo and rent it out or anything like that. But let's talk about going in those neighborhoods for a second, and I'll tell you why I think that your best bet might be to secure some type of land with what's going on in North Carolina right now. And South Carolina is basically the same. I think you get a little bit more bang for your buck in South Carolina right now, but it's still hit or miss. It's way overpriced right now. I mean, too many people are just leaving from places like New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and they're flocking to the Carolinas, and it's just ridiculous. Houses are 20-30% overpriced. However, you could still get great deals in the C-class neighborhoods. You can get some great deals on foreclosures. But here's the problem, and I talked about this a long time ago, and I can tell you from experience, if you buy a broken down house for $50,000 or so, and you're jumping up and down because you're going to be able to get $600 to $800 a month in rent, and you think that's a great deal, which it's a great return on investment, you have to take into consideration the amount of repairs that are going to happen in that house. Whenever you buy a fixer, a flipper, you're going to subject yourself to a whole bunch of unnecessary repairs. And the older the house, the more stuff just keeps breaking down. And you can go over it on paper a million times till Sunday. The reality is there is so much unseen stuff that goes wrong with owning I'm going to call it a C-class house, which is basically that nothing really has been upgraded and you're just kind of band-aiding it and patching it as you go along. You're never going to make any money. In fact, it's going to cost you a lot of money. If you have other businesses and you decide to take the depreciation off the house for tax purposes, that might be a great thing. But the reality is you're definitely going to be in a sad situation here, folks, when it comes time to make all those repairs all the time. It's just not going to work out for you. So think twice before you do that. But it's all about cash flow, right? It's all about how much you put down, too, if you can't get the mortgage. So a lot of people might not be able to get a mortgage and afford to buy a $600,000 house to rent it out for $3,000 a month. That might not be in the cards for a lot of people, and you might need to go into those types of environments and get the low class income house. But what people really don't realize by going in those types of houses is if you don't plan on redoing the entire plumbing, electrical, windows, doors, and roof, then you're up for a bag of problems. If you get a bad tenant in there and they start complaining about every little thing and they say, I'm not going to pay you this month, I'm going to put the money in escrow until you do the repairs, you will never get ahead. You better take that $50,000 and put it in a money market somewhere, because real estate is not going to work for you at that point. So either you're going to get a house at a tax deed sale for $2,000 or $3,000, then you're going to put $20,000 or $30,000 into renovate it completely, and you're going to make the model work for you that way, or you're going to buy a $50,000 house and have a lot of headaches. So when you talk about North Carolina, that's about the average income. That's about the average cost of a C house in that area. And unless you pick one up at foreclosure and stuff like that, you need to really realize how much money you're going to be putting in the renovations with that. All right, now that's talking about the C-class neighborhoods. Now, if you go into the better areas, the A and B class areas, that can potentially get you over $3,000 a month in rent. Number one, you're going to have to either buy the house cash or buy it with a mortgage. And secondly, you're overpaying at this point. You can't overpay for real estate unless you plan on sitting on it for 30 years, and nobody can make that assumption if you're going to. You're not gonna ride out the hills, the ups and downs of real estate like that. So my advice, if anybody wants to buy anything in North Carolina, it's going to be land. Okay, you're gonna go 1 hour outside of the most heavily populated areas anywhere in North Carolina, as long as you're not surrounded by bad areas, because that land won't be worth anything. But if you're an hour in the sticks in the woods away from Charlotte, the city of Charlotte, heavy cities like that, developers I'm talking about will go into those areas and they will buy the land from you. That's the way it goes. So you can. A friend of mine did that. He sat on a couple of parcels for 10 years. He made almost about $400,000 in profit just on land. So all of North Carolina is going to be scooped up. That's going to be an overpopulated state probably in the next 10 years, and they're going to be begging for land. So that's your key. Look online, try to get some great deals for land. Look where they ain't, which means don't go on the websites that everybody else is going on. Try Craigslist, because desperate people that really don't know the market really well start to list their stuff there first. And then you can contact them, make a cash offer, and you're going to be ahead of the game. But buying land, sitting on it for a couple of years right now is the best investment in North Carolina, just because everything is so ridiculously overpriced. So that's it. I mean, if you're doing anything right, you're investing in real estate, and you're buying your first property and moving forward. Don't worry about what the naysayers say, because everybody always talks trash. So do what you got to do, buy some real estate, and get wealthy.